Wonderful news.
Congratulations.
No, same to you.
We're all right.
Always in the second row. Always number 2. Yeah.
It's good to see you, sir. I didn't get it.
Stephen?
I saw you at the Flowers the other day.
Oh yeah?
I was
Yeah.
in, I was in.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, no, I've got 6 of those pubs in the Dubbo village pubs. And we turn up there, we put some posters up a few weeks before saying I'm there. And come and get some basically.
Good opportunity.
Yeah, well, it's actually,
Button hole of
well, actually, you know, it's a politician's background. Right. So when you put the fires outdoors, if they're, they don't, less likely they end up in the indoors. So, yeah, it's a big one. So, yeah, no, that's a, yeah, I'm quite
Great initiative. I like it. And actually, the more you do it, the less it looks like the first time you get
oh yeah,
leading years.
that's exactly right. Yeah, that is get used to it. 50% of the time I can help them, 50% I can't help them. If there's something totally out of my league, that's exactly right. And even the times when I can't help them, spend the time working out why I can't help them, explaining it to them, how that makes them happy. That's right. So,
Oh, we're better.
Well, thank you for
I know, it's still not to have it.
it's good to be able to
Just saying, just going on.
Yeah.
Need to get all of that down. So that
These sunglasses. Staff around here for a couple of days. That's right. It is. And the fact that another one here, it's all quite a bit. We're such a big park.
meant to be. If you had one.
I was just saying that in the city, they have small there's a big park
Yeah, the airplanes can.
the presence of this is quite obvious. Yeah, it was probably the highest. It would have been the highest one. Sinners would be. Sinners
Just
would be.
meant that when you're in trouble, so once that happened,
Everyone. Saturdays and Sundays.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to this year's commemoration of the fallen ceremony. I would now like to ask Mr. Bill Greenwood to recite the Remembrance hymn.
The Remembrance Hymn. O God, our help in ages past, our hope for years to come, our shelter from the stormy blast, and our eternal home. Beneath the shadow of thine throne, the saints have dwelt secure, sufficient in thine arm alone, and our defence is secure. Time, like ever-rolling stream, bears all its sons away. They fly forgotten as a dream, dies at the opening day. O God, our help in ages past, our hope for years to come, be thy our guard, while life shall last, and our eternal home. Amen.
I now invite RSL sub-branch member Jeff Colback to recite In Flanders Fields, a poem by John McCrae.
Thank you. In Flanders fields, the poppies blow, between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky, the larks, still bravely singing, fly. Scarce heard amid the guns below, we are the dead. Short days ago, we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved, and we were loved. And we now lie in Flanders fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe, to you from failing hands we throw. The torch be yours to hold up high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep through though poppies grow. Thank you. Lest we forget.
On the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month in 1918, the guns fell silent over 4 years of bloody conflict between the Allies and the Central Powers. An armistice was signed between the Allies and Germany in the early hours of November 11th, which took effect at 11 a.m. It marked the end of the Great War, a war unlike any other because it truly was a world war, and the scale of armies and, unfortunately, casualties was unlike anything seen before. It was dubbed the war to end all wars. Unfortunately, it wasn't the case. Less than 21 years later, a Second World War would break out. This one would also fail to bring an end to war conflicts. While that day 102 years ago wasn't the beginning of eternal peace, it is still a vitally important day of remembrance for our society. Initially, November 11 was known as Armistice Day, but after the Second World War, it became Remembrance Day, an opportunity to commemorate our dead from all wars and conflicts. Australia has been deeply affected by its involvement in wars. More than 120 men and women have given their lives in wartime efforts defending our freedom and our way of life. Of those, 60,000 people were from the First World War. For a relatively small and young nation like ours, that is a very heavy price to pay, especially at a time when Australia was still finding its place in the world. Those men and women who made the ultimate sacrifice for their country, for us, played a critical role in making Australia the incredible country it is today. It is crucial that we continue to honour those who made the ultimate sacrifice. As that period of time moves further into the past, it is also crucial that we don't forget it as we move into the future. Today is not a day that we glorify war, but acknowledge the courage and sacrifice of those who gave their lives and those who carry the scars, either physical or mental, of defending our proud nation. Many of those who returned from conflict suffered terribly with the trauma experienced while protecting us on foreign land. Thankfully, today, we are getting much better at helping soldiers recover. But the fact we still require personnel to serve in conflicts could be viewed as a failure. We should forever be grateful for the contribution and sacrifices of the men and women of our armed services, regardless of where and when they have served. And also, lest we forget. And now Graham Palm will play the Supreme Sacrifice. I now invite RSL Sub-Branch President Mr Tom Gray to give his address.
The First World War left between 9 to 13 million dead, a third of those with no known grave. The red poppy has long been a part of Remembrance Day, the ritual that marks the emissaries of the 11th of November 1918, and is also increasingly being used as part of Anzac Day. During the First World War, red poppies were among the first plants to spring up in the devastated battlefields of the northern France and Belgium. In soldiers' folklore, The red of the poppy comes from the blood of their comrades soaking in the ground. This poppy is an emblem of sacrifice. The symbol of life offered in the services of one's country is a link between our comrades and us who remain. We will remember them. I will ask Sue to start the wreath laying, please. Billy?
I'd now like to ask RSL Sub-Branch President Mr Tom Gray to the lectern.
If you can, I would ask you to please stand for a minute's silence. They shall not grow old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemned. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them, lest we forget.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for our national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that concludes this year's commemoration of the fallen ceremony. I thank all of you for your attendance today. It's your parade, Mr. Gross.